Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. For all of our listeners and viewers, I am Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. So if you're ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. And if you're not in our area and you know someone who is in our area, we invite you to invite them to come and worship with us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And if you're not in our area, you can always tune in to our Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time when we go live with the Sunday sermon in our virtual sanctuary. We invite you to come and always tune in and experience a better quality of life. And of course, we're here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji Water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable, artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact, until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water, this is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who have noticed and have been tuned in on our new website, which we are in the process of developing, and you continue giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com. And those of you that are now joining us on newlife-delaware.org, those of you that use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, and those that are using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. I want to take the time to thank all of you. We appreciate your commitment and your support as you continue to support the broadcast right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So let me remind everyone, during the week, we want to stay connected with you throughout the week. So we want you to tune in with us on our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The music never stops at WKAPFaith.com. And so we want you to stay tuned in with us throughout the week. And if you know someone that is in need of food, we want you to contact us on the T-Mobile caller text line. We have our public charity, which is our New Life Food Source Pantry, which provides food for those who are just in need of a little help. So if you know anyone dealing with food insecurities, have them contact us, text us on the T-Mobile caller text line. We will make certain that they get instructions to receive food. We don't want anyone dealing with food insecurities. We want to help anyone who might need some help. And so we are just going to make certain that we make ourselves available to assist. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated you moved to another city away from your family for a new job, you said. You said, however, you're feeling some kind of way, some kind of emotion about not being told that your brother had a baby with his significant other. No one told you, and now they expect a gift. So let me say this. Here's what you got to recognize. You moved away and you've been busy. But your concern is that you talk to family members. No one said anything to you. 9 months passed. You didn't know your brother had a child. Part of that is your responsibility. So we gotta be accountable. And part of that is your family's responsibility. And the reason is because your family may have chosen not to discuss it with you because of the fact that you had relocated. And if they were allowing you to get settled in without you trying to come back and forth to visit your brother and his significant other, that's a choice they get to make. However, it would have been important for them to include you in what was going on with your brother, unless your brother then had a conversation with other members of the family and said he didn't want it discussed with anyone else. And anyone else could have included you. You were starting a new job. You got busy. Your accountability is you didn't, even when you touched base with family, you didn't necessarily spend enough time trying to find out what's going on in everyone else's life because you were busy with your own life. And this is where it's going to help all of our listeners and viewers. If you are going through your own very busy period of life and someone neglected to share something with you, you can't hold them responsible for not sharing it with you. You can ask the question why no one told you. However, they may have a plethora of reasons why they didn't have a conversation with you about it. So what I will encourage you to do is not to make this an issue. Take your emotions out of the equation and realize that all of you had things going on in your life. It would be a nice gesture to send them a gift. You're not responsible for sending them one if you choose not to. The great thing about life is that we get to make our own decisions, but then we have to be willing to accept the consequences of our decisions. So you can't be mad because you're expected to give a gift, but you're not required to give a gift. But it also is your niece, nephew, whatever your brother's, the gender of his baby may have been. But you get to decide that. The problem that we have sometimes is that we want to hold someone else accountable for what might be our own shortcomings. You didn't follow up. You didn't really spend enough time checking with your brother, checking with your family to see what's going on in anybody else's life because you were busy with your own life. But nobody can make you send him a gift, but it is your niece or nephew, whichever he has. So you have to decide the relationship you want to have with them. If you don't send a gift, you can expect that he's going to feel some kind of way, and if he doesn't feel some kind of way, his significant other will. So then you got another issue to deal with. So I would say take your emotions out of the equation, send a gift, tell your brother, you wish he had let you know they were having a baby. 9 months have gone by. It's okay, he's your sibling, tell him that. And then move on. And focus on what you're doing with your own life. Focus on how you're going to ensure that you have your own great quality of life. Congratulations, and to God be the glory on the new job. And if you haven't been communicating frequently with the family, that tells me that you've probably been quite busy with the new position, which means that you've hopefully been productive and gotten the results that you wanted to accomplish. See, what's interesting, and this is, this is where I'm really going to go with this for all of our listeners and viewers. What's interesting is that we all have decisions to make. We all have choices to make. And you are working on this new position, and maybe some time has lapsed since you spent any time. You're living in a different part of the country now. Maybe some time has lapsed since you last communicated with family about what's going on in everybody else's life, but don't feel some kind of way about it. We all get busy. We all have a lot of responsibilities. When you have a big career, you have big responsibility, and time is going to pass, and you may not keep up on everything, but you can't be annoyed that everyone didn't allow you to keep up with everything, because you have to do your part also. At the end of the day, the good news is you got a new position and your brother has a new baby. So rejoice in that. Don't create problems where there is no problem. And we have the tendency to do that as human beings. We overthink a lot of things and create an issue when there really doesn't need to be an issue. Let's really, as we move forward in this year, let's be different. Let's not be the same person we were last year and the year before and the year before that. Let's be different. Let's be a different vessel. And we will get more accomplished. And so I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, I am really believing God and hoping that we will, and praying that we will all have a really great year. We don't get bogged down in the minutia of life and our expectations of what life is going to be and work it out. The Bible says work out your salvation. Work it out. Just keep moving forward. Enjoy your nephew or your niece, and maybe now you'll have an opportunity to spend more time with your brother and his significant other and the newborn, and maybe you'll have an opportunity to really now be settled in your new position and work to continue your success. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may have the opportunity to become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you ended a 3-year relationship in December of this past year. And you want to know how long should you wait before you start dating again. There's no time limit or time constraints on when you should start dating again. Just understand what you want in a relationship and prepare yourself for that. There's no time restriction. Listen, I encourage everyone, you don't want to get in another relationship on what we once called the rebound, bouncing back. What you want to do is really get a clear understanding of what you want in a relationship. And that's real important for all of us, to know what we want out of our relationships, out of our marriage, what we want, so that we can prepare ourselves for that. Because everything in relationship is about preparation. Are you prepared to be in a relationship? Are you prepared to be someone's spouse? Are you prepared to be a parent? It's all about preparation. So you've got to make some decisions on what you want within a relationship. What does it look like for you to have a relationship with another human being? And then you've got to start preparing yourself for that. Do you have the qualities that it takes to be someone's significant other? Do you have the qualities that it takes to be someone's spouse? I don't think we often think about those things enough, because we're so focused on what we want in the person, we don't think about what we want in the relationship. So I'm going to use an example because I think it's real important. So all of you have heard me talk about what dating should look like. And yesterday I had a conversation with two other gentlemen regarding the fact that we have to realize that dating was designed to eventually set a date for matrimony, for marriage. And so you have to be very intentional about what you want in a relationship and understand what you want in a relationship. How do you find yourself prepared to be in a relationship? Are you prepared emotionally? Are you prepared physically? Are you prepared? And I'm laughing because of the comment that one of the gentlemen made. Everyone that you're attracted to may not be the right fit for you, but everyone who thinks they're the right fit for you, you might not be attracted to. It may not be the person that you visualize to share your life with. So let's think about what you want a relationship to look like. That's got to be your first thought. What do you visualize a relationship to be? So let's talk about that for a moment. So I've talked about what dating should look like. That was part of the conversation we were having yesterday, which is if someone's interested in you as a woman, you need to be sure they're a man of God. And if they're a man of God, he should not just want to take you out and wine you and dine you. He should take you to church and out to lunch 3 consecutive Sundays. That's the first step. And then you have to determine what a relationship would look like for the two of you. And then you have to determine, are you prepared for that? And are they prepared for that? So there's a lot more to dating than just, I like the way they look, I like the way they live, I like the way. There's a whole lot more to it than that. And it involves, first of all, you cannot be unequally yoked. And secondly, how can two walk together unless they agree? So you've got to make sure you have, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, it first has to begin with you having a relationship with the Lord. That's the very first step. That's how you get prepared. So you just came out of a relationship that had no foundation in Christ. So before you get into another relationship, or even before you start dating again, you have to get your relationship with the Lord in place first. And then anyone you're going to date, you need to make sure they have a relationship with the Lord in place. That the foundation is going to be, we have a relationship with the Lord. And then you can build on that. You can build on that. You can't build a foundation on sinking sand. You can't build a foundation on anything else other than a relationship with the Lord. And that's the problem that we have in society today. And that's the reason that, the divorce rate is 50%. Because it's not established in a relationship with the Lord. So we've got to work on that premise first. And then we have to prepare ourselves. So we have to make certain that our body's right, our mind is right, our spirit is right. If your health is not good, how can you have a relationship with someone else? How can you start dating someone else when your health is not good? Because that's going to become an issue in the relationship. You've got to make certain that you're ready, that your health is good. And then so that's your body. Then you got to make certain that you are in the right frame of mind, the right state of mind. What's my attitude like? What's my behavior like? What's my level of commitment? What level of commitment do I want to make to a relationship? And you've got to really prepare yourself. And so I'm going to say once again, this will help all of our listeners and viewers, because we've got to be prepared for what we want to accomplish. We think because things have been one way and we want things one way, that's the way it should go. No, we have to prepare ourselves for every step that we're going to take. So if you're going to take a step out into the dating world, you've got to be prepared to deal with the demons that are out there. You've got to be prepared because that was part of the conversation we had yesterday. They were telling me about how complicated the dating world is, because at the end of the day, most people are living with a worldly state of mind instead of a mind that is based on the Word of God. So that's a change that we have to make. And we have to recognize that it's all about our preparation. So before you start dating again, just make sure you're prepared for a relationship. And if you do that, I can tell you that's going to be half the battle's already won. But your relationship has to start with the foundation with the foundation that is based on the relationship with the Lord. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything you could possibly need for a man at Charles Tyrwhitt. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can shop at Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. Online, they will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And the White Company, located in London, the UK, they also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from the White Company at thewhitecompany.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are not excited about all the activities you have been invited and expected to attend. You want to know, how can you get out of going without offending anyone? So let me ask this question. Why are you first and foremost concerned about others' expectations? So here's the reality. You get to make choices about what you want to attend and what you don't want to attend. Just because people invited you and they have the expectation that you'll be there doesn't mean you have to attend. It means that you have to sit down and decide based on the time you want to allocate for social activities, and you have to base your decision on whether or not you desire to be in that particular environment. So you've got a lot of activities that you've been invited to. You should stop right there. Make the decision on what you want to attend. The expectation of you attending, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's coworkers or colleagues, you can't allow their expectations to be part of your decision-making process. Here's the reality. If it's work-related and it's something you have to, that you're expected to attend, you put in your appearance and attend, because it will enhance your career or it may have an impact on your career. But personal things that you're invited to attend, you don't have to concern yourself with others' expectations. You have to decide if it's good for your self-care. Let me give you an example of that. And I know some of you that know me are going to say, Pastor just does not like to leave the house. But here's the reality. I have a full schedule. My schedule is full. My time is allocated for specific purposes, and everything is timed. Time management is one of the biggest components of my life. It is not the major component, but it is the major component, of course, is my relationship with the Lord. But right after that, from a professional perspective, time management is a major segment of my self-care. So I've shared with many of you and talked about this on the broadcast previously. I am intentional about trying to get 8 hours of sleep every night. It does not always happen, but it's my effort. So if I'm invited to something, I don't focus on expectations of others. If it's significantly important to someone that is one of my loved ones, I have to look at, do I have the time to attend? And if I do, I will. But if it's not significantly important, if it's just a social activity, if it's not part of my daily routine and on my calendar, I'm not going to add it, because I only have 24 hours in a day, 24 hours in a day to accomplish all of the things that need to be accomplished. And 8 of those hours I try to allocate for sleeping. So that means everything else has to fit in within those 16 hours, because we all have the same amount of time. I cannot allow the expectation of others to dictate my schedule. And I would suggest to all of our listeners and viewers, don't concern yourself with the expectations of others. You can determine, based on the invitations of others, what you have time to address and allocate time to accomplish. Because we all have a life to live on purpose. And the focus has to be the purpose that God has for your life, not the expectations of others. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Remember, we want you to stay connected with us on our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And of course, we want you to be with us on all of our broadcasts. So if you're not in our area, tune in for Sunday.